from the loft of the Caskey Lodge in Kalkaska, Michigan, it's the Rollsreece podcast. And here he is, Rollsreece! Hey everybody, welcome back to the Rollsreece podcast. I am Rollsreece, and I am mobile today. I'm out and about. I'm out in the BURG, my old stomping ground, Williamsburg, Michigan. And, I appreciate everyone listening to the Mother's Day episode. Had a lot of fun there with Mom and a lot of comments and stuff on and offline. Had a great time in the UP, so I decided to go mobile again. Come out here to the Williamsburg area. Had some good times out here. Got kind of wild back in the day. And I'm happy to have as a guest today one of my best friends growing up. I mean, when it comes to the BURG, I mean, we probably crisscrossed every single path and two-track there ever was. Had a lot of good times, and we're here to talk about it here at his place out in Williamsburg. It's a beautiful forest atmosphere. We're up on the deck. We got a couple beers going. Once again, thank you, Miller High Life. I know you're not an official sponsor, but I really appreciate you. All right, and so it's time. My guest. I've been waiting for this. I'm super excited. Josh Johnson, thank you for being on the podcast, my friend. It's really good. And thank you for having me at your home.
Hey, thank you, Ray. Rolls?
Yeah, hey, whatever. Whatever you want to call me, man. That's fine. Everyone knows that, it's the Rollsreece podcast. That's all we can say. But hey, man, I mean, gosh, it's a beautiful spring day here. You have a beautiful home and deck out here in Williamsburg, and this is the house that you basically grew up in.
It sure is. Well. I love it here.
And that's amazing that you're able to do that. I mean, you and I have been friends for a long time. I mean, we're talking since I was 14 years old, probably 13, 14.
Yep.
I mean, do you remember like the circumstances of how we met? You do? Okay.
Yep. Pulling into the football game, and Jim Manley tells me, here the guy Rollsreece smokes pot. That's all I needed to know about him. That's all I needed to know.
And then so what? I mean, I kind of remember that a little bit, but I would get. So I left the game. Is that what happened?
Apparently, Manley had some pot.
Okay, well, don't have to mention all the names.
Oh, I mean,
you don't want to. We have Manly guy, whatever. So I remember we kind of left. We did our thing. We went there, got the freaking job done, and then I remember coming back to the football game, and you guys were just like, yeah, we'll see you later, man. Like we didn't really hang out.
Just left him in the dust. Got him high and left.
But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna play it cool. So I walked in there, and I remember there was a bunch of fellow students that were just going, "Oh my God! Like, what's going on? Do you feel different and stuff?" Was just kind of the questions I was getting, and I'm like, "Yeah, a lot better." Like. Enjoying the game, and I didn't really start anything there, no one did, but that's just, I remember that was like the first time. But then after that, I was in this drama class, and I can't remember who it was introduced me to Manley, and I don't even know if
we shouldn't be saying his name.
I'll erase this.
Has he even been on the Rollsreece podcast?
I want to have him on.
He's got to come clear.
I want to have him on. I probably shouldn't any names. I mean, here's the thing. This is 25 years ago when we were teenagers. You know what I mean? This is teenager stories we're telling here. I mean, it's not
nice.
We're telling any kind of we're retelling probably a very similar story a lot of you out there. I hope. I mean, if you're fans of Rollsreece, I hope you're out there having a good time in life at some point. But no, I mean. And, and then I kind of started to get to know the people, that you hung around with a little more. And they're like, you got to meet this guy, Josh, again. And I think it was, there was a party, and we went out, I can't even remember, in the Spider Lake area. And it was the first time you guys were like, yeah, we'll invite him. And I came there, and I'm not going to lie, I, overserved myself.
Oh, he was hammered.
Overserved myself, and but most part, held my own. Had enough conversations where people didn't
You
think,
held
"Ah,
a
you know."
lot of people's own.
Yeah, exactly. And so, ended up the next day, and we were joking around, and then somehow you're just like, "You can come hang with me, man," because we kind of knew some of the same people too. You know, I mean, there were some other people
did.
we knew from growing up. And next thing I know, I'm in high school here, and I'm like, all right, I got some new friends, you know, and you and that crew, you know, and
Yep.
I guess
You've been just right on the same track ever since. I mean,
yeah,
you've
I've
never
just-
slowed down.
I've just,
Ray.
yeah, well,
Least
you know,
that's one thing about you, man.
there have been bouts.
You've never had a, oh, I'm just gonna take a couple days off here.
Well, I
never,
have.
never.
Yeah, well, there
No.
were a couple days.
When?
Well, you weren't there, so I don't know the exact dates. I think
He's lying,
it was in
folks.
2000, early 2000s. I remember that.
2 days. What was it? 2 days? Come on.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, and then, you know, throughout our 20s and stuff, we just always, you know, remain friends, and, you know, here and there, you know what I mean? We've in and out of trouble, whatever there is. And but I mean, I remember we used to, for some reason, it was not beyond us to take these just long walks that would I mean, you knew,
Yes.
if I set out on this journey, this is a 3 hour, this is a
Yep.
4 hour,
Yep.
we're talking, you know, this is a local show, the Rollsreece podcast. We're walking from Elk Rapids to Williamsburg
I
and
mean,
beyond.
That's a long
out
ways.
to-
That's what, 15 miles? Something.
10 or, yes, exactly.
How
Well,
long do you
Elk Lake,
walk?
10
How
miles
fast?
long.
And how fast? We weren't walking
I don't know.
3.4 miles an hour either, were we?
No, there was
know what I mean?
variable speeds.
There could have been. Maybe we were up to 4. But I mean, I swear, we were doing
stride,
2. We were
yeah.
doing 2 miles an hour the whole fucking
We were
way.
averaging 2, you know, and I thought, you know, that was all right. And a lot of times people would see you, they'd pick you up on the way out there.
Yep.
But but we did not care for some reason. You know, we'd be walking this whole time and just like, we're like, when we get there, here's what we're gonna say. Like, we would come up with like these skits and pranks and stuff to do on people, or, you know, like, oh man, we don't have beer, but I think I heard that this guy was getting some extra beer, so we'll get in on that, you know. So,
And
I remember.
it just unfolded from there. I mean, you got there, and what happened? I mean,
Oh, you know, I mean, things would get rowdy. My strategy was,
quick.
you know, there was always a ring around the fire, and so I would make a point of going up to every person and at least saying hello. I was like Uncle Leo from Seinfeld. I at least had to say hello, and you know, that was a good way to go, because you got to, you know, have a little talk with everyone, a little memory of the party.
And
In
there
a
was-
lot of cases,
and back, this is a different age nowadays, folks. Back then, people partied and they got thick, and
in the woods
it
around
happened.
pallets.
I mean,
they're still
a
doing
lot. I don't know. I don't think they are doing it.
it. Yeah, I don't know.
Have you been invited?
No, I guess
I
I
know it,
haven't.
exactly.
I haven't been to a pallet party in about 15 years.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
They don't do it anymore.
Oh man, maybe we can bring back like a middle-aged version.
We'd go to pallet parties knowing we were going to get infiltrated by police, knowing it, and be like, well,
we know they're coming here today. I mean,
we were ready and prepared.
It wasn't too tough.
We had our words picked out.
Well,
for
it wasn't too tough when, you know, it's a dust trail that is freaking going down, you know, the road, you know, and
follow the dust.
yes, exactly. I mean, the dust with, you know, when there's a car going, you know, 50, 60 miles an hour and it's been dry out, there's a clear dust trail to follow on the way out there.
And old Rollsreece and I'd go on our way. We'd be walking even. Some cars would be coming down the road. We'd hide in the bushes
You
to get
never
away,
knew.
because you never knew.
You never
You
knew
never
who it
knew.
was. So
And you didn't,
had to
you
run
know?
in. Oh my
That's
god.
how it was.
And you know, this story isn't our own. There were similar stories by other groups of people. You know, you did what you had to do to have a good time back then. But I mean, now definitely more laid back. Like I say, I'm 43. You know, kind of a, you know, a homebody. You know, I mean, if you know, back then you're just trying to get out of the house. You know, you're just like, I gotta get out of here. Where can I go? The woods. All right.
Don't let them fool you, folks. guy just parties like a effer.
I
mean,
have
every
settled
night.
way down.
He says settling down is what does that mean? You don't
Well,
call people?
Compared
I
to
mean, he's
you,
just
you know,
hammered
yeah, I
every
party pretty
night,
hard,
man,
you know.
every night.
You've hit it hard in the past, and I know you've toned it down a little bit.
You
But
go up to his place. It's a little small closet. I mean, it's a little. He lives in a tiny
it
little.
is a janitor's
I mean, it's
closet.
little. It's really little. It's almost claustrophobic in there.
You know, people seem to like stopping by to say hello, you know, every now and then. So it can't be that bad. I mean, they kind of like they poke their head in and then they go, "Ooh, like, can you come out here and talk to us?" And I'm always like, "No, I'm going number 2."
Dusty little cot. I mean, it's a small cot in the corner. The people around there are very nice, though, I must say.
Ronnie has been good to me. Denise, and you know, Ricky. He's kind of been driving me around lately. So
I don't know about him, though.
Yeah, you know, I know you've met him a few times. I mean, he is here.
It's
He
all
drove
right.
me here.
It's a little suspicious.
Yeah, I mean, hold on, let me see it. Ricky, will you grab us another beer, Ricky? I don't know, Josh, you talk.
He ain't even coming out of your car. He's just sitting down there. Rolls comes all the way to Williamsburg.
Oh, I take that 15-minute commute.
The special event.
Yes, I don't travel more than that if I can help it. You know, I mean, anything more than that, I don't. You know, don't I already have a chair to sit in at home? You know, I mean, what are we doing here? Spending hours a day in a car?
Yep.
Ugh, I'm getting sick of it. I know when I retire, I'm going to do like a compound.
You know what? Back when we partied in the day, we walked to the fucking party. If we didn't have a ride, we walked.
Yes, I mean, and on one occasion, I think you even had a 3-wheeler that you just by mistake let me drive, and
oh my
when
God.
we drove out there.
Holy
You know, sometimes these dirt roads, they wash out a little bit. You know, they get a little washed out. And maybe Rollsreece wasn't paying you know, maybe we didn't have a headlight on the thing, you know.
It wasn't even that washed out. We just ended up off the road.
And, you know, hey, 4-wheelers is what I knew. And next thing you know, we might have flipped into the ditch. We were okay that
And
time.
it was a 3-wheeler.
Yes.
Roll.
Yeah, I was used to a 4-wheeler, and it was a 3-wheeler.
It was like,
you know?
I'm 4-wheeling, man. And it was 3.
I think I said something like, I'll show you how to ride. And then we went right into the ditch.
Right into the ditch.
And then there was the infamous, I had that Spree scooter. And I remember, and I go, hey, should I cut across this gravel parking lot? And you're like, yeah, let's do it. And as soon as we hit the gravel, the wheel just buckled. And that was probably the worst road rash I ever had in my life.
Down, smash.
It was. Here's how bad it was.
Ray got hurt way worse than I did.
Both the wounds looked similar. Like you hurt your elbow, I hurt my knee, and they both look like ground beef. I mean, they were just filled with gravel.
When you're 15, you do it. You get her done.
You get out there,
whatever way you got to do it. You got to get out.
We went from point A to point B, back to point A.
You know, when you're 14, you're like, F walking.
Hey, I got a scooter. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe I've been up all night and now I want to ride it. So
when you become an alcoholic at 15, you just do what you got to do to get there. Keep it going. I mean, literally 15 years old.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think
Let's not tell your dad.
I don't think we're hitting it that hard, folks.
Right. When did you become an alcoholic? Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm definitely not.
He plays the part, folks.
Listen, folks, I'm not trying to create drama here. I'm not trying. This is a very old and good friend of mine. He is definitely messing with you a little bit. I am not an alcoholic. And we're back. So. Yeah, we glitched out again there. You know how it works on the Rollsreece podcast. It you know, every now and then it glitches out. But yeah, you know, I mean, you know, we grow older. You know, I mean, I'm definitely not hitting it as hard as I was back then. I mean, there's no way I wouldn't be able to keep a job. You know, it's like Caskey Lodge even. You know, I mean, and the lodge is very demanding. So you know, I'd like to remain there. There are some benefits. You know, every now and then you get drinks. And I'll take that, you know.
He's got a lot going on for him.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's not all janitor's closet, but I mean, like I say, I mean, we have known each other a long time, and I mean, we got through the walking phase, we got through all that. I mean, but I mean, how did you even get to this area? I mean, I mean, because I'm not from
I was
northern
born
Michigan
in
at all.
Tennessee,
Tennessee. All right.
Oak Ridge, Tennessee, home of the atomic bomb. And
Is that true?
home of the atomic bomb.
Wow.
Yep. Oak Ridge, Tennessee. It was a city built to build the atomic bomb, and it was fenced off. The whole city is fenced off. You have to have passports in or out. It was an atomic bomb city.
Wow.
That's where I
So
was
did your
born.
family have something to do with that, or like, did you have
Nope,
like
we just lived
grandparents?
right next to it, and that's where I was born for some reason. I don't know if I had special, you know,
Abilities?
Nothing.
Like
Nothing that.
you were born near a nuclear site? I mean
it's
that's
pretty
how
much
superheroes
white
are born, my
trash as
friend.
you can be born in America.
I was born near the
Born
nuclear
outside
facility,
of the atomic bomb factory.
and then I knew I had the uncanny ability.
So I moved up to Alma, Michigan,
Alma. Okay, yeah,
Yep.
very familiar with Alma.
and my grandpa lived in Gladwin.
All right.
Florida, Gladwin.
You always wonder how they name these towns. Did some guy like win something and he was glad about it?
It was
What's
Glad.
going on there?
Yep. And then I moved up to Traverse City.
TC. And you've been here since what? I mean,
I've actually moved to 3 or 4 different places before I lived here in the area.
where are those?
First it was Cherry Knoll.
Cherry
School.
Knoll. All right. Shout
And
out
I
to
lived
Cherry
out
Knoll.
in the Spider Lake area, in the Spider
Spider
Lake
Lake.
apartments. And then,
I mean, that's Traverse City Schools, right?
and then I moved to a trailer park out on Lake Leelanau called Birch Point Trailer
Wow.
Park.
It's kind of cool. You got to live in like all those different areas because those are all pretty different areas. I mean, even though, you know, it's northern Michigan, and but you know, if you're by the water, or you know, I mean, Leelanau County is beautiful. I mean, I guess this whole area is, but
It is
yeah, you got
nice.
to live.
Nice
And then,
everywhere.
and then what? And then you came here, right?
Yep. And then I came here.
And this is out here off Williamsburg Road. I mean, it's hardwoods, it's cedar. I mean,
It's pretty.
pine. It's just absolutely beautiful. I mean, and this is just a amazing spring day. We're talking. This is being recorded May 21st, and man, it's just a beautiful spring
Nice.
day. I mean, I appreciate you inviting me out. You know, I swing by every now and then. Like I always tell, you know, your son Nolan is always wanting me to stop by, and he's like, when are you stopping by next? And I say, you got to think about me as like a bird that just occasionally will fly by. I mean, but it is about once a month, you know what I mean, that I'll try and stop by, and and you will come over to the Caskey Lodge every now and then and hang at the janitor's closet. That's very nice of you. You know, you guys will bring me food or whatever, and that's pretty cool. You know, I appreciate that. I mean, you don't see me as like a bum for living there, do you?
No, not at all. I just know that
Okay, good.
I know that everything's going your way.
Yes, absolutely. It's going my way, that's for sure. And yeah, I mean, you know, I remember kind of one of the things we used to do, and it's right out here in this barn, was we used to play a lot of music, and your stepdad Bob was just an amazing dude, really cool guy. He would let us play out there and make a racket till whenever. I mean, yeah, we would have to shut down when need be, but
Almost never. I can't remember him ever just really laying into us about getting into things too bad. He's pretty mellow.
I mean, was he musically inclined at all? Did he play an instrument or anything? I mean, he didn't seem like he was opposed to it
He
at
really
all.
loved Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
I know that. I mean, he loved the blues. He loved old Clapton. He was really, he really appreciated good music. He has a huge. I inherited a beautiful record collection from him.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome record.
Yes, and we should mention he has passed away. God rest his soul. He was an amazing
God rest
guy,
his soul.
and his memory will be preserved within
Beautiful
us.
man,
I have
yep.
only good memories of him. I don't have any bad memories. So
Yep. I mean,
I didn't know him
mom-
well, but-
My mother and him got divorced, right?
that's right.
They got divorced, and then he still wills me his everything he has. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Who
everything.
does that to their stepson in
I
life?
mean, he taught you how to. I mean, just we'll say you're out there. You're doing tile work now,
Doing
and
tile work.
it was him that taught you that,
He
right?
taught me. Yep. I hated it back then. He'd make me 14, 15 years old, even younger than that. We'll sit on a bucket and just do what he said. Sit on a bucket and wait for him to tell me a command.
Yeah, and then that
Wash my
mortar and grout and that's real good for your hands too, isn't it? It doesn't
yeah.
dry or crack your hands right away.
To this day, I hate it.
It's tough, man. I mean, I've done a little bit of it, and
That's
I
what I
wasn't
do
good
for
at
a
it.
living, and I just.
But
hate
you
it.
are very good at it. I
Thank
mean,
you.
I've had a lot of people go, gosh, I got to call Josh because I need some tile work
No,
done.
don't call Josh. I hate it.
Do you want him to go through like your
Just
official?
don't call Josh.
Okay.
Get your brother-in-law to do it.
I haven't actually given anyone your number, so.
Thank you.
All right, but I might. If they're in, what if they're just like someone who's really in need?
Nope. Sorry. It better be your mom, and she better be bleeding and in need of a shower.
What if it's a charity called Tile America, and you'd be like the face of it? Tile America.
Of course, I would just drop everything and go do that.
Okay. Yes. All right. And
I
I'll
love
get.
America.
I'm already working on the song Tile America.
I'm there. Let's do it.
Tile your dreams.
Oh, that sounds good.
Tile America.
I'll tile your shoes if you hold still.
He'll tile the laces. He'll tile anything you want.
You can't move while I'm doing it, though.
Now, do they have to have the shoes on while you're tiling them, or?
Yep, can't move.
Okay, that's all part of the process,
You can hold
folks.
still long enough, I can tile your shoes.
Yep, you heard it here first. But do not call him. This is just stuff he could do if he wanted to, but do not call him.
But we
That's
partied
the
up in
lesson.
that barn hard. Had a barn party and just partied it up.
Yeah, there were a lot of. You know what? I remember that
Hard.
strangely. I remember I took this tape from my dad out of his truck, and it was Hank Williams Jr.'s greatest hits. And at that time, I was not into country, and I brought it there to kind of make fun of it. I remember and it ended up being like you, me, and like Mystico or someone else or whatever. I shouldn't bring people's names. That's whatever. I'll have to erase these out at certain points,
Nah.
but we'd be up in there listening to this over and over, and pretty soon we're like, we can connect with these songs.
I love
They
Hank.
make
I
sense.
love Hank. Hank is like one of my favorite artists.
Family tradition.
Just down home country. I mean, it's right in your face country.
Oh
Good
my
stuff.
gosh.
Wholesome.
Whiskey Bent and Hellbound.
I mean,
Jeez,
other than
jeez.
few little things like that, it's pretty dang wholesome.
And then he redid Kalijah and made it into like a hardcore country tune. Like the original
Yeah.
one was kind of like his dad did it, Hank Williams Sr. And then Hank, I mean, all of a sudden you hear. I mean, at that point, that's as hardcore as country was getting,
It
right?
was,
I mean,
yeah,
no one did the bodo.
right. The twang and the bass.
And then he was girl out here over there putting in here down on by the door. But then don't make a tuck on me, no my Georgia door. I apologize for that last
Yeah,
note. That was my
sorry.
fault, but I don't apologize for that song. All
Yeah.
right, love that stuff. So yeah, we
Yeah.
listened to that, and then what happened? We found out he was playing at the Castle for the all play. And now,
Oh yeah.
for you kids out there too young to remember, the Castle used to be a big-time concert venue for the northern Michigan area that turned
Yep.
into some kind of, I don't know what it is now, like a place to have weddings. I don't even know what
Weddings.
it is. Whatever. It's not good. I mean, at a place where Hank Williams Jr. rocked, I mean, big name bands. I mean, I'm sure there was a bunch of concerts I missed, but I mean, for years.
There was a point at the Hank
White
Jr.
Snake.
concert where I just couldn't understand what he was saying.
Well,
I
he
mean, he
admitted-
really got hammered on stage, and you could see him pounding a big old fifth of Jim Beam.
Well, he
Really
had
was.
a half-gallon up there the whole time, from what I remember. I mean, you know, people thought it was stage props. It was probably just apple juice. I don't know, because when he was stumbling off those, remember he got up on the PA equipment with the half-gallon?
Oh, wow.
It didn't look
It
good
wasn't
from a
apple
distance,
juice.
even. From
It
a
was not
distance, I
apple
was like,
juice.
uh-oh.
It wasn't a prop.
Yeah. That was Jim Beam.
Remember trying to sing along with the songs during the end, and he was
played
like,
in
and I mean, you couldn't understand him.
He played an acoustic song, and then finally he just kind of like looked at him and was like, well, shoot, or something like, shoot, I can't remember the words of my own song.
Forgot his own song. Just totally forgot it. Wow. You gotta be hammered to get to that point.
Oh, man. And you know, the funny thing is, there was probably someone that opened for him, but his show was so crazy. I have no memory of anyone else there. I mean, it was just like, look at this freaking guy. I mean, he, you know.
It was amazing. I mean, even though I couldn't understand and stuff, it was just an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
You know?
And but I do remember, and still now you remember, just think like, you know, I don't like much country, you know. I have a few, you know, but other than Hank Williams Jr., I don't listen to a lot of country, man. Like, I don't know the contemporary country. I mean, do you know any modern people or?
No. Oh, it's all weak nowadays. It's like disco and pop mixed with a little twangy lyric.
Yeah, you're not hearing songs like, well, I OD'd in Denver and I just can't remember.
No OD in Denver anymore. We don't talk about that.
No one's ODing in Denver. Not in a song.
Speaking of ODing,
uh-oh.
we had a party here at the house, and Ray almost got accused of being OD'd in that night.
Yeah, well, we got out of there and had a good time, I'm telling you. But yeah, you know, crazy stuff will happen back then. But no, but Hank, I mean, he's crazy, you know. I mean, he's totally insane, and we just listened to him a lot. Kind of almost like looked up to him, and then it got to the point where we were taking the tape out to these parties, and then we found out there were other kind of like secret pockets of people who really liked Hank
A lot.
and yeah, and they just freaking, all of a sudden we'd have huge sing-alongs of the whole album. Once Hank Williams Jr.'s greatest hits got put in, you'd have 30, 40 people all singing
it.
Family Tradition. And I always kind of liked in that song how when they would go, tell me, Hank, why do you drink? And everyone would go, to get drunk. Why do you roll smoke? To get high. Oh, man. I mean, that's a party song right there.
Big time.
But, I mean, we listened to a lot of everything. I mean, we were listening to a lot of Fugazi, a lot of Monster Magnet. I mean, old 80s hair, you know, Motley Crue, Pennywise, I mean, Bad Religion, I mean, punks, every type of music. Classic rock, you name it. Jazz. We had no fear of any of it. We listened to all of it. I mean, we weren't the only ones playing music. I mean, there's about a dozen people just in, what, a 5-mile radius that were musicians.
Yep.
And sometimes we would bring generators out to the BURG, I remember, and we would set up a jam session just anywhere, you know, in the BURG. And there was one time I remember we were at a place called B2, and we set the stuff up, and it's kind of high on a ridge, and these people show up, and we didn't recognize them, and we're like, hey, you know, welcome aboard, who are you? And they're like, you know, we're about a mile away, and we heard your music, and we just thought it was like a concert, and we wanted to come hear it. And then they got close, and they're like, yeah, no, not for us.
Where are we?
How do we get out of here? But, I mean, you know, every now and then it would get kind of discombobulated. I kind of learned you don't want more than like 6 or 10 people playing at once, because once you get like okay, it's a free jam open to everyone. Yep. you know,
Especially when
I could
the liquor's free.
I could
you
do
know
it for
what I
10
mean?
minutes, you know, but when it's lasting a half hour to an hour,
Oh,
you know, yeah, I don't know. I just can't do like the drum circle thing, you know, where I'm zoning out to like,
oh,
you know,
you know.
I'm kind of thinking about other things. Like after like the fourth time into it, it's like, well, you know,
Yeah,
I guess they are selling beer here. I could go get one of those, but you know. But I mean, we went to some concerts. I mean, God, what one did we go to? Did you go to that Butthole Surfers show? Was it you and I that went to that?
I've been to a couple Butthole shows, and they were pretty neat.
I mean,
They were
that
pretty
one
cool.
we went to, that it was just a great time, and it was funny because the Stone Temple Pilots were opening for them. Because that's how new the Stone Temple Pilots were. They were opening for the Butthole Surfers, which was great because I was there to see the Butthole Surfers. They had a new album. Everyone loved it. It was a freaking amazing album. Independent Worm Saloon, just freaking awesome. And everyone was there to listen to them. And they put on one hell of a show. I mean, they had a screen where they projected 3 different, like, projections. Wow. And I never would have even thought of that you could do that. Like 3 projectors, 3 different movies all together. I think it was like old movies from like the 60s, like
weird.
And then like one was like someone getting their teeth cleaned or something like
weird.
that.
I mean,
I can't remember.
Dental surgery.
But then afterward, were you part of that crew that met up afterward? After the concert, we all met up at that rest stop because it was really foggy. You couldn't even see the road. Okay, maybe you weren't there, but I remember we met up with some people there, and
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I mean, you must have got a ride. I mean, because I think we rode there together, and then I ended up riding back with someone else. And
I remember.
Oh yeah, there was kind of like a weird roadside after party. Like a bunch of concert goers went there.
What happened? Maybe you should tell me about it. Maybe
well, we went there, and we're all like, "Oh man, I can't see a thing. You know, I can't drive in this." And other concert goers start shuffling in with the same idea, and these one girls came up and they go, "Where are you guys from?" And my one other friend's like, "Marquette." And they're like, "You are not." And he's like, "We are from Marquette." And I don't know, for some reason we were just talking to them about whether or not we were from Marquette for like a half hour after the Butthole Surfer
show.
So you
lied to them about where you were from.
You know, maybe you didn't want them to know where you lived. You know, they were. I mean, they were the most beautiful girls at the rest stop that night. I will say that. That's for sure. Oh man. So, but you know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we got crazy back in our old days. You know, yes, I still drink. I like to have a good time. I'm definitely not hitting it as hard as I was back then. I mean, who could? How can you keep up with that? You know, I mean, so. But this is what I like to do. I like to come over and just chill out on a porch. You know what I mean? And you know, just enjoy you know, I'm living in that janitor's closet. It's in downtown Caskie, you know what I mean? And, you know, if I open the window, even a crack, I'm overrun with street noise. Like there's just
it's like a truck stop.
It's kind of. It's like you're going riding on the freeway.
It's a truck stop right in front of his house, pretty much.
You're going riding on the freeway.
I don't know if it's just the positioning of the closet up near the road there. There's no insulation, maybe. I don't know. It's just like you're in there, you crack the window just a tiny little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
the beauty of that was, and I think Ben and Gabe Nagy will attest that there is a window that you can see the parade route from. So we were looking out the window, and you know, that's at that time. That's when you want to hear the noise. You want to hear the sirens and that of the parade. I remember you and Nolan came up there one time to watch the parade. I mean, it's a pretty good spot, right? I mean, you got to peer through that 2x2 window, but it's not that bad.
Nope.
The janitor's closet.
I mean, you open the window, it's like you're right there.
One of these days, I'm gonna move into a 2-floor walk-up downtown. You know, but as for now, it's the Caskie Lodge. Hey, I'm not ashamed.
I like where you're at.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you know, people know where to find me. You know, as long as you're a member, membership counts. Don't be afraid. Sign up today. I don't know where. I have no information about that, but you should become a member of the Caskey Lodge.
I mean, if you
Josh,
live in a
would
small
you be the first
closet-
one? Maybe you'd be the first member.
I don't know. I mean, I'm claustrophobic. And it's hard to be in a small.
So you
broom
wouldn't want
closet.
more than like 2 or 3 members. We don't have to hang
don't know.
in the janitor's
I
closet.
mean, that's where you feel most.
You hang out like amongst the you're a member of the Caskey Lodge. You don't have to be restricted to it. I mean, it is an older crowd. They're looking for fresh blood. I mean, Ronnie is 92. I mean, he's an old guy, but he's having a good time.
I don't know what to think. I mean, I like the closet, but I'm claustrophobic.
Well, you know, I mean, you and some of the other members can hang out in there. I usually hang out over by the freaking table in the loft by the deer. It's not really a loft. It's like 2 steps up from the dining area and then a couple more tables.
I like.
And they put me under the deer ass.
Real willing to go grab you a beer once in a while, though.
Yeah, you know, Denise, she's working hard there. It was her idea to get the cooler, you know.
Who's that other guy?
Why don't I just get you a
Denise,
cooler?
who's that other guy?
Ricky, you
No,
know,
the other one.
that's it.
Who's the other one?
There's no one else. I mean, there's other people. I haven't really gotten to know them. I haven't really got.
Ron or something. Ronnie.
It was Ronnie. He's my sponsor.
Yeah.
92.
Where's he at?
Oh well, he just kind of sits up front. He nurses a drink
He's the
most
one
of
that
the
just went
time.
and like, oh my god, I need a
Well,
beer.
you
He
know-
just jumped up and went and ran.
He
across
cannot
the room,
run.
and I was
You know,
like, holy crap.
he's known for
You
shaking
get
your
treated
hand.
good there.
Well, he's known for shaking your hand too long. You know, that's that's the kind of guy he is.
But I mean, if you can get past that, you get treated real good.
You
I mean,
do.
You want something?
I mean,
He's the man to ask.
it's amazing the friendship him and Ricky have formed. You know, that's the thing that amazes me is that you know, certain laws have changed in the state. So Ronnie's like, the heck with it. I'll take a sniff of some jazz lettuce. I shouldn't say sniff, a puff. Take a puff.
Wow.
You can tell I'm hip with the lingo.
Nope.
Why don't you go take a sniff of some of that marijuana?
Yeah,
But yeah, they you know, they'll take a trip, and you know, people have heard me say he you know, Ronnie comes back in and he's a little bit shaky, you know, and Ricky has to brace him, you know, he has to hold him up and make sure he gets back to his seat
That's
at the
really
table.
the only thing that brings him down. I mean,
You know, but
you got to bring the guy back to his senses, and that's all.
it mellows him.
That's
He
all
likes.
I don't need. I think he's anxiety or something. I mean, whatever he does there, it comes right back when he goes
I
out.
think
and
he's
does
the
his little
eldest
puff
member.
thing in his car or whatever he does there.
I think back when the
He
Caskey
comes
Lodge
back
started,
a totally different person. He's like,
and he does. And back when the Caskey Lodge started, I think he was one of the founding members, you know. And back then, I think they were kind of like, you know, like in their 20s when they started it.
Back when he was doing it illegal.
You know, maybe I don't know if they just came back from war or what happened, but you know, think about how crazy they were back then. I mean, I'm sure, you know, the Caskey Lodge was a pretty rowdy place back then. I mean,
oh yeah,
I'm sure like beer, here's how I imagine it: beer mugs getting smashed. He won't come on the podcast. I don't know why, but you know, I imagine beer mugs getting smashed, and you know, people on tables, and you know, dancing jigs. They're like clink 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 clink. I guess that's more like the Old West. You're not that old, Ronnie, but
he's seen a lot though. I mean, yeah.
he's 92.
He's a quiet guy, but he's seen a lot.
He's a good guy. Everyone really likes him, and you know, I think we could get you a membership here. What do you think? You know,
Maybe.
I mean, not here, but at the Caskey Lodge. You know,
I mean, I am claustrophobic.
no,
I
it's
do
not
like-
in the janitors.
I
You're
like
a member
just
of the
coming to
club.
closet. I
The
mean,
janitor's closet, they're letting me live there as a member, but that's not where everyone hangs out and
Well.
congregates. You hang out in the actual lodge itself.
it's hard to just be the member and then you're in the closet. And
I mean, here's what it would be like. You would come in and it would be, okay, you're 44, right?
yep.
So it'd be a gap there, 44 to 80. There'd be a
Wow.
40-year gap between all the members
I mean,
because they just lowered the age to 40 just to try and bring in new blood.
is there a fee or
Yeah, there's a fee.
initiation?
Yeah,
What
I
do you
think.
do?
Well, I don't think it's much, but I'm sure there is some kind of fee or something. You know, I work here. I kind of clean up. You know, and they're kind of letting me. You know, I'm like the mascot. I don't know what. You know, they like Ricky too, you know, but he doesn't live here.
You don't even pay the fee, do you?
I don't. No, I do not pay the fee. I just live here, man. Yes, I just
Nice.
or not here. I keep saying here. I'm so used to broadcasting from the Caskie Log, but I'm actually here overlooking the pristine yard of Josh Johnson here in Williamsburg. But yeah, I did not pay the fee, and they just kind of let me hang out here. And you know, like I say, they got a lot of bagels for some reason. But I eat a lot of bagels, and then they have pork chops. So I have a little pork chop and a bagel every now and then, you know, and that's real nice of them.
There's a lot of food here.
Yeah. Well, not here.
I mean, there.
We so badly want to be at the Caskie Lodge right now.
Oh,
You know what? We're just gonna hit pause and and now we're at the Caskie Lodge, folks. But no, I mean this is fun. I mean, I get together with you about once every month, and this kind of insanity and this kind of talk, this is like our normal conversation. I just want to let you folks know that these are pretty much our normal conversations. You know, we don't take it too far off the rails. We're not here, trying to rip on people or, make anyone feel bad or whatever. We're just here just having a good time, doing a little BSing, and that's what I've tried to do, from the beginning. I will say you're very nice to even do this. I appreciate you doing it.
I mean, talk about the present, talk about the future.
Yeah, I mean, what do you see for the future? You just moved or inherited this home. I mean, do you see yourself being here for a long time? I mean, I would almost see this as a place you'd retire in. This is beautiful.
I really like it here. It's great.
And then a great place for your son Nolan, to grow up too. I mean, it's just amazing, and
he loves it here.
They're here right now, Nolan and his friend Lauren, and they're just having a great time. They got a trampoline, they got wilderness. A big yard to play in, and they are having a great time.
Just planting some cherry tomatoes in my garden down here.
Yeah, I see that.
You can't really see them too well, but they're around the perimeter.
If you can imagine, like a frame, like a PVC frame, pipe frame with fencing around it, like chicken wire fence. And I guess that's to keep the deer out because there's a lot of wildlife around. I mean, it's not just deer. What else is getting in there?
Oh man, you got raccoons, you got porcupines, you got chipmunks, you got squirrels.
Any bar?
Snakes.
Any bar?
Bar?
Any bars? Black bars? Brown
No,
bars?
I haven't seen any bears around here.
Bears?
Nope.
Where I come from, we call them bars. Just kidding.
Last bear I saw was over in Rapid City. Actually,
actually saw one.
It's actually kind of close to the Crossroads bar. If anyone knows where that is.
Hey, this is the Rollsreece is a regional show, and it's for the local area. If you know where the Crossroads is, hey, you know what we're talking about. But yeah, so that's a densely wooded area, though. I mean,
a lot of hills.
It's boxed in. I mean, because Skegmog Swamp is right there, so that's probably where they're hiding.
A lot of habitat, a lot of hills, a lot of places to hide, a lot of bird feeders to eat.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, a lot of yards to get into. Peanut butter bird feeders.
Yep, he was just strolling along, and
you thought that bird feeder your kid made at school was cute, didn't you? Till that bear comes in.
Large bear too. It was big.
They don't eat much though. They don't cause too much of a problem. They just come in. I've seen some recent videos where, they'll come in, get in your hot tub, hang out for a few. They're just trying to relax like you and I and have a good time.
Cleaning that thing out after that.
I don't want to imagine it. I imagine there's a power washer involved at the very least. Maybe 5 or 6 power washers. Oh, man. But yeah, I don't think I'd like that. But I don't really ever see myself having a hot tub or a pool either, so I don't know.
Yeah, you can't. Once in a while, try to leave a bag of garbage on the porch or something to take out the next day. Never do that.
Yeah, they will go right for trash or, whatever you happen, to leave out.
Yep.
It's going to attract them. The raccoons are the funniest because ever since I was a kid and saw Great Outdoors with those raccoons freaking getting into the trash in that movie Great Outdoors, I've always kind of liked them. I'm like, you know what? They got personality. They're out there working hard. They're thinking about the problems and how to solve it. They're a little better than a bear just kind of, muscling in, pushing on things. That's the bear strategy. Just push on it over and over until it tips.
Oh, the raccoons around here are almost that way.
They're smarter though,
Big.
right? They're almost as big as Bar.
Yeah, it was big.
Jesus. I mean, I'm kind of looking over my shoulder now. That one could climb right up on the deck here.
We got a lot of bats out here.
Oh, I don't mind a bat or two. As long as they're outside. It's when they get inside is when they become a menace.
Oh, bats are good.
I remember earlier guest Aaron, when Aaron and Jill were on here, Grencheck. I was at his shop, and one had gotten into his shop. If you want to hear a girl-like scream, it went something like this. As soon as I saw that thing, it swooped my head, and I went. Ah! I mean, every time it swooped down, somehow I channeled Homer Simpson all of a sudden, and now I was terrified of this bat. But he ended up grabbing it with a blanket. He ended up taking a blanket and scooping it up. Oh man, that was a good time.
So now we know what Rollsreece scared of.
One of my fears. Batman. If I was a criminal,
When they're in your house, man, that's not good.
I mean, that's why I don't commit crimes. Because even if there's a chance there's a Batman, no way. Too scared. Oh man, yeah, we are having a good time here on a Friday afternoon. The work week's done. Both Josh and I get a weekend, and looking forward to relaxing.
Way too fast.
And it just goes by way too fast, the downtime. I mean, but you get your vacation time here and there too. So you better be getting vacation time. Anyone. If you're out there working, take a day off.
I need a permanent vacation.
I'm fully retired.
Yep.
I like the old joke. I think my dad told me this. I just retired. Oh yeah? Yeah, all new Goodyear radials on my car. Retired the car. Caramba! They're all winners here, folks. Stick with the Rollsreece podcast. You're gonna like what you hear.
Joke after joke after joke.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we're just having a good time. Actually, this is almost kind of turning into, I remember I promised everyone the Ray's descent into drunkenness episode, and that's kind of what this is almost turning into, but I'm having a great time. And I've only had like 2 beers. I mean, they're 16 ounces, but I'm definitely
I'm on 3. I don't grab another one.
Yeah, I told you, man. I told you might have to grab another one. Actually, you could have this one if you want. There's one right here.
All right.
As long as you can drink the high life.
I don't like the champagne and beers too much.
I know a lot of people have been telling me that, and I don't know why, but it appeals to me. Maybe I had COVID a while back, and all of a sudden lost my sense of taste. No, I really do enjoy them, man. I don't know why, but
Right now I'm having a Huma Lupa Licious.
Huma Lupa Licious, nice, and that's a quality beer too, man. I love Shorts Brewery, and I just don't I don't drink a lot of it. I drink. It's just. This is the kind of beer I drink. I do drink a craft beer every now and then, and I do enjoy them. But if I'm just kind of drinking and it's a hot summer's day, I don't know. I just, for some reason, prefer the high life. I don't know why.
One of the first DUIs I got was coming out of Shorts Brewery.
What?
Yep.
What happened?
Bel Air.
Are you willing to talk about this on this program?
I might have had a couple too many. They overserved me. Thought I'd try to go home.
It wasn't
afterwards.
you. It was they overserved you.
Tried to go home, and boy, I couldn't get all the way home. Long story short.
So, I mean, you tried and you tried, but you couldn't get up. Now,
I tried.
Did they find you before or after you couldn't get home?
I went right to jail. Right.
No, I mean, did they pull you over? Did they find you in a ditch or something, or what happened?
Nope, just pull over. Why'd you pull me over? I don't know.
Did you comply?
I tried to. Have you ever had a Shorts beer?
I have. You know, they can maybe send you over the edge from time to time.
I mean, how do you comply after a couple of them? You know what I mean?
I totally know what you mean. Oh my gosh, that is funny stuff,
You
man.
have two, you're hammered.
Yes, exactly. Hey, you know, I'm noticing we got some suspicious activity going on in your neighborhood here. We've had this
People
car.
driving by pretty slow.
I've seen this car drive by
Yeah.
slow like 2 times. It's what are those, electric cars or whatever?
Suspicious.
It looks like a soccer mom who's just like, I don't know where to drop this kid off. Like she can't like there's a little kid in the back going, no, I live here, and he just like keeps telling her different places. Oh my gosh. I'm sure that's something more that happened back in our day before GPS and the convenience of that. GPS in your phone.
Yep.
I mean, this is as far as I go with social media. I'll say that. You know, I mean, I prefer just kind of throwing whatever out there. You know, I don't need to hear a response. If you want to leave comments, I'll talk about them. I'll read the comment. I'll talk about them on the podcast.
Don't subscribe. Don't like.
Yeah.
Don't leave a comment.
Doesn't matter.
You know,
I'm not here for a popularity contest, but you can notify when you after you subscribe and like. You can put on the notifications, but I don't care. Do whatever you want.
Don't subscribe.
Whatever,
don't like it.
man.
Don't leave a comment.
It's not a popularity contest, a riot.
You'll see. You'll be sorry one day you never left a comment.
That's probably what we actually sounded like back in high school. Because I remember we'd make tapes of our jams and bring them to school and stuff, and be like, "You could like this song or not?" No, and people would be like, "No, I like the song." You'd be like, you know, whatever. It's not that great.
We're listening to it.
Why would you like that? Ripping on people who say they like it. No, I do like it. You're an idiot for liking that. No, we weren't that bad. See, that's the thing. Every time we get around, we go, let's start here and let's just mock it and make a total mockery of it up to here.
Yep.
And then people will just be like, yeah, they're insane. They're freaking insane. The more insanity, the better here on the Rollsreece podcast. I mean, we're filling up an hour of your time. You're on a road trip. You're going somewhere. It's an hour drive. Maybe it's a half hour one way. And you listen.
Let's face it. You ain't got nothing better to do right now. I mean, you know what are you doing? The dishes?
Michigan,
Who's listening right now? Are you doing the dishes? Listening? That's beautiful.
I mean, you know, maybe you're mowing the lawn. You got the real good muffle headphones, like the head muff headphones. That
Maybe
block
you
out
gotta
the
go
mower.
take yourself a 15-minute dump. You know what I mean? Rollsreece podcast is on.
I don't care where these sound waves, if they're reflecting off a toilet bowl or wherever. I don't care. I'm just glad you're listening. You know, I mean,
Don't even subscribe. Don't even comment. Don't even like.
And what I am enjoying too is that, especially this one, they're all really different. You know, every one of these podcasts is very different. That's the variety of people I hang out with. And the funny thing is that everyone you're going to hear on the show, other than like the parents and maybe like the kids when they come on, because I've already kind of lined up some of the grown kids that have known us our whole lives and kind of just seen us, you know, be ridiculous our whole life. But we're going to bring in everyone that used to hang out with us throughout this whole time too. So, but no one hangs out together. We all hang out separately. So,
we're getting old.
But we all hung out together at one time. I am saying that. Everyone I'm interviewing and talking to, we're all one big group. Like you and Aaron and Jill and I are friends, and Ben and Nicole. You know, Ben hung out back today, and I want to, you know, get the Fatels on here. I hope that's something. All great, just funny people. I mean, Manly, I love you, man. I mean, you know, whatever. We got had maybe some drunken arguments in the past. I want to have you on, dude. I want to talk to you. You know, I mean, because we've all grown, we've changed, we've all kind of mellowed out. But obviously, as far as how we think, I don't think that's gotten much more mellow. We're still as crazy as ever, and that's all great. You know, we have a good time with it. You know, so. You know, I'm just glad that you know, you're even willing to talk to me on this. You know what I mean?
I mean, I admit I need a filter sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm trying not to filter. You know what I mean? You just kind of speak your mind. You know what I mean? But you know, you don't want to bring anyone down or whatever. And,
it's all about building each other up around here.
And now we got a dog here, Cookie the dog. Cookie the dog, Cookie
Good
the
old
dog. Everybody's loving this Cookie the dog. Here, Cookie, bark. Bark, Cookie. Oh, all right. Right when you need a dog to bark, you know, them dogs ain't barking. But, you know, what happened was Josh, he went in to grab himself a beverage, and he left me out here with Cookie the dog, who, you know, is normally pretty barky, but seems to be kind of quiet right now. But, well, come on back, Cookie. Cookie. I shouldn't whistle into the phone. It's gonna. I imagine. Here's what I just imagined: that you're at home, and all of a sudden, now the podcast is calling your dog.
Go inside, Cookie.
Go on in, Cookie. Be a good dog. Cookie's listening. She's doing the right thing. Good dog, Cookie. Now, what is Cookie? I'm trying to, for the viewers that don't, it's a little dog, right? A tiny
miniature poodle.
But doesn't look like a poodle. Looks like a shaggy
with Shih Tzu.
Okay, so she looks more like a, or is it a he?
The scientific name is Mini Shih Tzu.
Is that true? That cannot be true. Oh,
No, that's what she is. A miniature poodle and Shih Tzu mix.
Oh, that is funny, man.
And man, she's
So
a
a
funny looking little
miniature
dog.
shit poo. That's what he said.
Mini Shih Tzu. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Well, I will say that when you first, you know, I've known Cookie from the beginning, and I will say when you first got her, really barky, would nip at you, you know.
Oh,
but,
she's still bark.
we got some, you know what? We got some people in the peripheral here. Nolan?
My son Nolan.
I think we might want to get him in on the podcast, or maybe not. Maybe, you know, yeah. He's here.
Might not be able to get rid of him. After
I mean,
we
he's
get him in.
divided by a door, but you know, he could come out here. They're having a good time.
They are.
I mean, you know, the funny thing is they show me these video games, and it's not even a game anymore. It's all about the costumes. Like, I remember I was over here one day, and he's like, "Will you check out my video game?" And I was like, "Sure." And a half hour later, I'm like, "When are we going to play the game?" We looked at about 20 different costumes.
Kind of boring.
And then someone else's kid was showing me one. It was the same thing. It's like, all right, I got this costume, I got that costume. I mean, you had to shell out some money for those costumes, right? Or one of them, or two of them?
I mean, back when you could choose Mario or Luigi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, even now, you know, I'm a video game nerd. You know, there's certain ones I like. We could talk about that. I'm not going to drag you down that path right now. I'll get some video game people in here, and we can have a video game cast. Whatever, but I mean, I don't take, because they always give you the option to make the character look just like you or whatever. I don't care what you look like at all. It has nothing to do with gameplay. I mean, it has nothing to do with anything. So it's a total waste of time, and it's just weird that it's the main focus. The next generation's coming up.
Right.
It's like,
You might as well make the character look stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well.
Well, I remember at a Tiger Woods game, and I took some time, and I made the guy like look really, really dumb with huge buck teeth, and just looked like a total, like a Gomer Pyle looking guy. I mean, that was kind of fun, but I didn't spend more than 5 minutes on it, I can tell you that. But I don't know. I'm not going to judge, you know. I mean, that sounds kind of curmudgeon-y. What are these kids? These kids in their costumes nowadays.
Yeah, weird.
Oh, jeez. I'm sure they'll look back on us one day and just go,
My dad was an idiot.
yes. Yes. They didn't know anything. They're just morons. But, you know, I'll accept that title right now. I'll just tell them I'm just
Me
an
too.
idiot. You know, fun-loving idiot. I will
It's
say
his
that.
world now, not mine anymore.
That's right. That's right. They're gonna have to take over and really, you know. I mean, I've got confidence in them. I know they're gonna do a good job. You know, I mean, they're good kids, and
Yep.
I mean, right now, you know, if we brought them out here for the podcast, it would probably be really funny what they'd say. I have no idea what they would say at all, you know. But I guess at that point we're ripping off Kids Say the Darndest Things. It's pretty much the same. But I don't know. Hey,
We're
listen.
trying to keep the kids away. I mean,
Yeah,
come on, you guys.
They
go out
don't
to
need
the
to be on the same
trampoline.
one where we're talking about the old party days
Yeah,
from
yeah,
30
yeah,
years
yeah,
ago
yeah.
or whatever. You know what I mean? Where we're all freaking. I mean, I had dreadlocks. You know, I'm walking around in overalls that are like size 54. For some reason, like the baggier the overalls, the better. So I'm doing that kind of crap. Yeah, it wasn't a good look. That's for sure.
Nope.
You know, people make fun of the 80s, whatever era you're from. Buckle up, kids who think you're cool now. You're going to look like dorks in about 10 to 15 years, guaranteed. Unless the trend comes back in 20 years, right? And loops back, then you're cool again.
Yep. Everyone suffered through the pandemic and ready to get out and do something, cause some problems.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering what's going to happen after, you know, everyone's fully unmasked and all the restaurants are open and the crowds are back. I mean,
Oh man,
I think we're going to have some hard-hitting crowds.
I hope so.
I'm going to avoid them. I'm not going to be part of it.
Right.
I'm done.
People do what they do, though. You know.
You know, I noticed that no matter how much tourism or how nice it is, the Caskey Lodge is pretty much the same crowd. So
It's pretty tight in there. I mean, it's a sanctuary almost.
it is. You know, it's an
Tight-knit.
old lodge feel. Not a lot of light. I think there used to be light, but not now. You don't want to, you know, because there is the mirror behind the bar, and you don't want to see what you really
No,
look
I
like.
mean, it almost looks like people smoke in there like they used to.
They do, because it's a private club,
There's
so
gotta
they
be
smoke
some-
cigars
Yeah,
in
I
there.
always see like a big cloud.
There
of
is a cloud
smoke
still.
all-
Well, they have the filters.
I thought it was, you know, no indoor smoking anymore, but not there.
They're a private club and they
Yeah.
can have it, yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll definitely next time you'll have to come up to the Caskey Lodge and we'll broadcast from up there. How about
All
that?
right. Yep. Yep.
But I'm thankful again. Thanks for having me over. I really appreciate it. I mean, it's
Thanks for
always
coming
fun
over.
hanging out. That's for sure. I mean,
Yep.
I always have a good time. We've said some pretty crazy stuff. You know what I mean? We've admitted some stuff from our past, but you know what? You know, at first I was kind of like, oh, should we be talking about this? But you know what? Everyone did crazy stuff back in the day. I mean, if you didn't miss anything. You know, it's just, you just had everyone's got their own story.
Well,
And, you know, like I say, we've all mellowed out a lot and we're just kind of, you know, hanging at home. I mean, where do you go 90% of the time of your life? Home, right?
maybe some of your best stories in life will never be told.
Well, I don't remember a lot of them. I'll tell you that. But who knows? But anyway, I think we're coming up on another hour of the Rollsreece podcast, if you can believe it or not. And once again, I'd like to thank my guest, Josh Johnson, and thank you for having me at your home.
Thank
I
you,
mean, you
Rolls.
are one of my best friends, and
Great.
I know we don't hang out enough, but, you know, like I say, I enjoy just hanging at home. So that's kind of what I've been doing. But I do get out every now and then, and you're always welcome to stop by. But and as for everyone else, hey, you know, if you've been listening to the podcast, this has definitely been kind of a different one. But yeah, this is what I'm aiming at. I don't want them all to be a carbon copy of, you know, they don't all have to be interviews. This is
I
just
like
a
that
couple
you're
friends.
avant-garde and on the road.
Hey,
You're ready
man,
to
we're on
go
the
around and
road.
Go where the journey takes you.
And we're just talking. We're old friends talking, man.
That's
and
awesome.
and that's what I wanted it to be too. So anyway, thanks everybody for listening. And tune in next week. I've got some big plans for next week. It's gonna be good. Stay tuned.